Arsenal genuinely have a very strong chance now at winning the Champions League. And their game tomorrow against Bayern Munich is the ultimate test. A lot of people would argue the best two teams in European football right now, the La Liga title race between Madrid and Barcelona, neither of them are really excelling massively in the Champions League. Inter Milan have done very well. But I look at Bayern Munich and I look at Arsenal as the two threats right now, which every team in the Champions League, including Spurs, should be concerned about. Because what Arsenal are doing recently, beating us 4-1, playing City, United, Chelsea this weekend, Liverpool, Bayern Munich will be the ultimate test for them. And mark my words, the confidence it will give those players, Mikel Arteta, and the Arsenal fan base, if they go in and put a strong, convincing performance in against Bayern Munich, then follow it up by beating Chelsea, I don't see a team right now who is pound for pound as strong as they are in terms of their depth. Name another team in European football that could lose their captain, their main playmaker, lose their main striker, lose their main centre-back, lose numerous players this season. When Saka's been out, Madueke stepped in. When Madueke's been out, Saka stepped up. Saliba has stepped in massively. Gabriel is such a big miss. But the role that Nkapie played against us, Timber this season, been arguably the best right-back in the Premier League and Champions League. You look at the midfield options as well. Zubimendi and Declan Rice, some people would argue is the best double pivot in European football right now. And bearing in mind, Declan Rice this season has been unbelievable for Arsenal, but no one's given him huge amounts of praise due to how good Gabriel has been throughout most of the season. How many clean sheets Arsenal have had. Eberechi Eze stepped in while Martin Odegaard was out injured, scores a hat-trick in the North London derby. It just seems to be, when a question is being asked of Arsenal, they have the answer. Similar to when questions were being asked at this time last year for Liverpool. Liverpool haven't played anyone. They then beat Man City, Real Madrid, Leipzig. They went on an unbelievable run. Arsenal right now at 15 games unbeaten, I believe. I think it's 15 games they're unbeaten. Bearing in mind, in that run of games, they've played some really, really strong opponents. They've played, in that run of games, they've played three Champions League games against Bilbao, against Olympiacos. They've played Sunderland away, which was, a tough away day. They've played Newcastle away, Fulham away, Atletico Madrid, Crystal Palace, Brighton, Burnley, Manchester City in that run of games, Nottingham Forest. Since the 17th of August this season, Arsenal have played 18 matches, lost 1. The form they're building on, the consistency in their performances, I genuinely am actually quite scared at the fact that they're going to win the league. But if they do the unthinkable, win a double, win a Champions League and the Premier League, I don't actually know what I'm going to do. I really don't. Make sure you go down, drop a like on the video. Make sure you have subscribed. Notification is right there. Drop a like and hit that subscribe button. It'd be greatly appreciated. The road to 100,000 subscribers is well and truly on. And we are 142 subscribers away from 84,000. So go down and do that. Tonight, big games in the Champions League. I'm very interested to see how Chelsea will get on against Barcelona. That, for me, is a huge, huge game. And bearing in mind, both teams have already lost this season. Barcelona also drew to Club Brugge. So it's a must-win game for both of them. And we'll really see where they are matched, because in the bigger games this season, against the PSGs, against the Sevillas, against the Real Madrids, they've lost all of them. And for Chelsea, it's a real test for them to show everyone in the Premier League what they can do against one of the biggest teams in Europe. If Chelsea go out and win, the confidence they will have on Sunday's game, because when you're in a title race, every single game matters. Now, every game matters for a lot of managers. I'll give you an example, right? Manchester United lost last night, but there is a hell of a lot of games Man United can make up those 3 points. However, when you're in a title race and the team's breathing down your neck, there is no margin for error. You can't drop points. Look at the Arsenal fan base when they drew 2-2 against Sunderland. Arteta out. Arsenal won't win the league. I said to all of you Arsenal fans, City fans, Liverpool fans, Chelsea fans, whoever you support, that this Premier League title race isn't like any other, because I genuinely thought at one point 4 teams may be in it. Now we're at a situation where after, 13, get 12 games in the Premier League? We're not even at the halfway stage. And Liverpool right now are down in 12th. You can just about see Liverpool on this Premier League table. And they're 11 points behind Arsenal. They're now in a top 4 race. Man City, Chelsea, and Arsenal is where the title race is. And a lot of people would say, hey, Chelsea are now in the race. And what I want to see is how they get on against Lamine Yamal, against these Barcelona players. They will be without Pedri as well. But it is a huge test for them. And it really will explain a lot Wednesday night after that Arsenal Bayern Munich full-time whistle. Because if they go out and beat Bayern Munich, that sends a statement to the rest of European football, of all the European teams. It sends a statement. These games they've got coming up: Chelsea on Sunday, Brentford Wednesday. Look how many games they've got in December, by the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 games in 31 days. So what's that? A game roughly every 3 and a bit days. Like, Bayern Munich and Chelsea are tough tests. Brentford, I think they beat. Villa, I think they beat, although Villa will be a tough game because they have picked up some form now. And Morgan Rogers is playing some good stuff. Club Brugge, if they win that game, it's pretty much guaranteed they are within the top 3 of the Champions League. Then they've got Wolves, who are practically already relegated. And then they play Everton away, which they haven't got the best of records at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. I mean, we beat them. But they are 3 games unbeaten now, Everton, including beating Manchester United last night with 10 men. But the actual Champions League this season, this week, these next 2 days of Champions League fixtures to me really, they really explain a lot, because also Man City have got a tough game against Leverkusen. You would expect Man City to comfortably dispatch them, but it's not an easy game. And then tomorrow you've got, Inter Milan, Atletico Madrid. Tough game for Atletico Madrid. How will Liverpool bounce back after another defeat? They've got PSV. You'd expect them to win. And we've got PSG. So, you will learn a lot about how do these teams, keep going. And when you look at the Champions League table, PSG have lost the game. Everyone has lost other than the top 4, which is crazy. I don't think you'll see a team this season in the Champions League, well, maybe you will, but completely be head and shoulders above the rest due to how competitive it is this season. Newcastle, what? 12th in the Premier League, but they're in the top 8 of the Champions League. Chelsea second in the Premier League, but they're down to 12th in the Champions League. Like, how insane is that? That Newcastle have won 3 of their last 4 games in the Champions League, only conceding 2 goals. And the fact that Arsenal still have conceded 0, if they beat Bayern Munich tomorrow and keep a clean sheet, and Luis Diaz, his game ban now has been extended to 3 games. Like, they will be without Jamal Musiala, who has broken his leg. They will be without Alphonso Davies, who, of course, did the ACL back in August, and Luis Diaz. And Arsenal will be without Victor Gyökeres, who Arteta said today is a doubt, Martin Odegaard, Gabriel, and Kai Havertz. But in December, when it gets into that festive period, when it gets into that tough, run of games, they'd have Odegaard back. They'd have Gyökeres back. They'll probably have Gabriel very close to being back. Kai Havertz will be back. Gabriel Jesus is expected to be back as well. So, even though they've got a hell of a lot of fixtures coming their way because they are in the next round of the League Cup as well, which they will be playing Crystal Palace, you'd imagine that they will win that game. And then all of a sudden, Crystal Palace, if they beat Crystal Palace, they're in a EFL Cup semi-final. I expect Arsenal to win multiple honours this season. I don't care what anyone says. Chelsea should beat Cardiff. Man City should beat Brentford. Newcastle should beat Fulham. And Arsenal should beat Palace. And then those 4 teams, Newcastle have got a very good record in the League Cup. Chelsea haven't had the best of times in recent years when they got to the latter stages. Man City have won this competition 4 times under Guardiola. And Arsenal desperately want silverware. So there's a lot of things, looking at what this Arsenal team could potentially do that Arsenal fans should be excited about. Meanwhile, we just lost 4-1 to that Arsenal team and have got to play PSG and Fulham in the next. Look at our fixtures comparative to Arsenal. We're playing Nottingham Forest, who have now picked up some decent form under Sean Dyche. We've got a terrible record at St James's Park. We're playing the European champions on their own patch where they have to win. Like the Slavia Prague game, we have to go out and win that. As a bare minimum, we have to beat Slavia Prague. But look at the difference. You think back to that 3-0 victory where we beat them under Antonio Conte. Look at where they've gone and look at where we've gone. And that just explains to you the difference in quality between how they've recruited compared to how we have recruited. And I'll leave that with you there. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you next time. I'm out.